Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
Yeah, she said on camera.
It was not on camera! You're being really whack right now. You, Brynn.
Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of New York, Season 14, Episode 14, the season finale. Finally. Okay, so the episode starts with some brief B-roll of just individual women doing some stuff by themselves, like Sai was going to some store, Brynn was with a sidekick, Jenna was doing this very cool photo shoot for her eyelash brand. But the first actual scene is Ubah and Erin meeting up at this cool park, and they get on some little bumper cars with like wheels in the bottom on top of ice where you can go around and hit others. It was actually pretty fun. I kind of want to do that too. And it was good that Erin and Ubah are getting along, and especially after their issues. Then they sit to have some coffee and just talk. They talk about the other night where Erin, when they were all together, Erin says she feels bad about Pavit, but I guess she doesn't feel that bad because the first thing she says after that is that she still can't believe his answer to why he's with Jessel is that she lets him do whatever he wants. And Ubah says, well, you know what? To me, the answer he gave was actually the most romantic and loving one I would want, because I too want someone to accept me, put up with my shenanigans, and love me. Boom. Thank you, Ubah. And speaking of relationships, Ubah says that it kind of took her aback how nosy Sai's husband David was as to why she's single. She's not ready to say who she's dating, but she will maybe in the future. The only person who knows about the man is Sai, no one else. And she doesn't want to tell Erin because she thinks that she would tell everyone. Moving on to the next scene, Brynn and Sai are hanging out in Central Park, which is pretty cool. I like that they had a lot of outside scenes this episode because it is New York, so I like seeing that. And walking around makes them remember some of their memories, which, by the way, the reason they were here was because Brynn is gonna get like a plaque for a tree in Central Park for her grandma, which is nice. But Sai in that moment was like, oh, Central Park reminds me of when my mother used to take us. And then I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Are you comparing? I thought you didn't like comparisons. Okay, interesting. But yes, they're there to find a tree, to have something permanent be there. So they actually meet up with two guys who are there to help them to choose the right tree and stuff like that. So they are looking at that, and they actually found the perfect tree that had like a bench, and there were some ducks nearby, which was like a sign. I actually think Brynn and Sai came across very positive this scene. It was really nice, for a change. Sai tells Brynn that she really likes her and are good friends. Like, if this was the first scene I had ever watched, I would say, wow, these two are great friends and loving people. Next scene is Jessel doing a photo shoot for a ready-to-wear collection, like Middle Eastern, South Asian thing that she's doing, which I love. So this is very professional, very nice pieces for women. What's cool is that the photo shoot is at Jenna's apartment, which at first I was confused about, but Jenna says that there's about 50 photo shoots that have been had in her apartment, so it's not that uncommon. Ubah also comes to join them, and Jessel really appreciated Ubah and Jenna's input to help in the photos. And you can tell that they were actually trying to help. Like, it wasn't like they were saying, oh, you're doing this wrong, which like got me thinking. I couldn't imagine Sai and Brynn and Erin being there. Like, they would have totally killed the vibes. Then Jessel takes a little break and talks to Ubah. She tells her about the other day and when Jenna and Brynn went to go to her house to tell her all of the things that Erin has been saying about her marriage, what Pavit's answer was, if he was wearing a ring or not. And Ubah is totally on Jessel's side because she knows that they're taking this too far with the husband thing. Speaking of which, Sai and Erin are together. They go to some Halloween store. The entrance of the store was like Halloween monsters, which seems like appropriate setting for these two. But they are actually there to get some masks for Brynn's party. Then they talk about Jessel. This, I guess, has become second nature to them. That's the only thing to talk about. Jessel. So Sai loses no time in telling Erin that Jessel called her a parrot, and she says she called me a mean girl, but we are just straightforward people. I was like, girl, bye. Okay, so then Erin tells Sai, I think I should tell you something. I met with Ubah the other day, and she told me she was a little bit shocked in how abrasive David was by asking her why she was single. And Sai says, well, he never meant it in a negative way, which may be true. But then, here she goes. She says, Ubah is fine. Very fine. Actually, she's dating someone. Child, she told you to shut your mouth, and you promised you would. But here's the mind-blowing part. She knows that she's not supposed to say it because she says, a matter of fact, I told her I wouldn't tell anyone. Now, she doesn't say who. She doesn't go into details. So Erin is now kind of fixated on wanting to know who the man actually is. So I already knew this was going to be a whole thing. Ubah then is FaceTiming her niece to figure out what outfits to wear. And we see other women also. They're getting ready for Brynn's party. Erin was like fixing her husband's hair. Jenna was getting help from her son on what to wear. Next up, Jessel and Pavit. Jessel has had a raspy voice, I guess because she was sick, and she asks her husband if that makes her sound sexy, and he says no. But personally, like between you and me, I found that voice extremely attractive. But anyway, they both sit down, and Jessel pretty much tells Pavit that she's tired of Erin. Completely done. The pet parrot, the Looney Tune can stay in Tribeca, she says. And she's talking about her husband and the father of her kids while she spends her week. I'm just kidding. But yeah, she's fed up with Sai too. She doesn't know what to expect from this party, but she just knows that she is not going to deal with them anymore. And Pavit raises a good point. He says that their obsession seems like projection. Okay, so then it is time for Brynn's party. It was nice. A lot of balloons, great venue. I don't know who paid for it. No, let me stop. That's not nice. But seriously. People began to arrive. Not for nothing. Sai looked great. Of course, Brynn flirting with the man. I get that she's joking, but it's still weird. They didn't really have food. They had just like cheese and crackers and stuff like that. Jenna came in with this girl who she might be dating. Then Jenna and Brynn started to kiss on the lips. Okay, so then David talks to Ubah and he wants to apologize. He didn't want to insinuate that she needs a man or, anything like that. But he was just curious that she's so beautiful and accomplished. It was just a question. And he apologizes and she accepts. I love Ubah, but I feel like it was innocent. I don't think he meant no harm. It's just a simple question, like, why aren't you with someone? I don't know. But meanwhile, the group is waiting for Jessel. And as they're waiting, Brynn says, oh, Jessel's not here. But we wouldn't even notice if she was here, would we? And Sai says, no, like, she's camouflage. That was mean. And you know what? She has a husband who notices her every night and every morning that he gets up. Who are you waking up next to, Brynn? Anyway, the South Asian queen Jessel arrives and she gave like a brief hello across the group, but giving the cold shoulder to Sai and Erin, as she should. These cackling hands, as she would say. And Erin is offended. Sai pretends not to care, but Erin can't leave things alone, so she goes up and says, Jessel, you didn't say hi to me. And Jessel says, I did say hi to the group, but I've heard that you've been talking mad crap about my husband, that he doesn't wear his ring, that he doesn't do this, and that's none of your business. Then the lapdog, also known as Sai, comes and Jessel says, and you, I heard that you don't like me, and that's it in that song. You don't have to like me. Sai says, it's not that I don't like you, I just don't want to be your best friend. And Jessel says, likewise, I'm gonna go get a shot. Goodbye. Jessel came in prepared and she was not playing around. And another thing, who the hell at their big ass old age says, I don't want to be best friends? What? So Jessel leaves, but Erin goes following her. She says, I heard that you've been calling me a parrot. You've been saying that you have a notepad and things on me. Then Brynn comes over and says, you know what your problem is, Jessel? You don't stand up for yourself. You need to make them respect you. And Jessel says, you've said this before, but nothing is worth getting that angry about, and I'm not gonna sit here and scream at people like a lunatic, like a ratchet ghetto person. Which I get it, because LVP would never. So I understand. And another thing, for Brynn to say that Jessel needs to earn respect by shutting them down, no. People owe you respect just as a human. You don't have to prove yourself. That's ridiculous. Then Brynn gets Everybody in a circle, all the women and the husbands get together. And if this ain't the most messy-ish... Okay, Brynn says, for my birthday, I would like everybody to share their grievances with one another. What? This is weird. So she goes first and she says that she was taken aback by Pavit calling Sai bipolar. Now keep in mind, when he said it last episode, he took it back. So for Brynn to bring this up in front of everyone shows you how low down and gutter snipe she is. And I've been telling y'all. Pavit says, I didn't mean it. Brynn says, yeah, you definitely didn't mean it, but you did call her an effing B. Wow. So Sai pretends not to care, but then she starts calling Jessel a liar. Jessel says that she isn't a liar, and Sai starts to scream about the Vietnam trip at the top of her lungs, about Jessel lying about it. And maybe this is why people call you bipolar, who just starts screaming out of nowhere. Anyway, Jessel has to defend herself once again. Pavit walks away and Jessel goes behind him. Jessel then talks to David and Sai joins, and they sort of talk a little and they settle down. Again, bipolar behavior. You're screaming one second and then you're okay this next. I don't understand what's going on. Then Erin comes out in a parrot costume, so people are just hanging out. Sai and David also sort of cornered Jenna and tell her that she should open up more. And I was just like, damn, are these the open up police? Like, what is going on? But Jenna gave an excellent answer in her confessional. She said, I'm not going to open up to someone or like when I don't have like a safe environment around me or something like that. But it was a really good response. They then bring out a cake for Brynn. Very nice. Her wish is that she wants a husband. And then she wants a picture with only the men. So she does that. So then the girls are just eating some cake. Looks like the girls are ready to move on. They're sort of over it. The group is kind of getting friendly with each other. I guess that's when they started to realize this is the final episode, so just fake it till you make it. But then Ubah gets a call. She answers and tells the person that she'll call them back in 20 minutes. Then, out of nowhere, Brynn screams, Ubah, I heard you got a man in Connecticut. And Erin and Sai are left in shock. Sai says, Brynn, that was effed up. Okay, so turns out, Erin, Sai, and Brynn hanged out off camera. And in this little meeting off camera, Sai actually told him every single detail that Ubah told her about this man she's dating. And it was supposed to be a secret, but Brynn is now spilling the beans. Ubah is taken aback and decides to leave the party. But Brynn says it's okay. Sai already said it on camera when Sai was at the costume shop with Erin. Ubah goes to Sai and Sai says, I never went into details about who you were dating. I just said that you were dating someone, but it was your personal business. So Brynn goes over and says, it's okay. It was already on camera. And Sai says, no, not that she was dating someone in Connecticut. Brynn says, yeah, you said it to Erin. And that's when Sai screams at the top of her lungs, it was not on effing camera. She cusses the hell out of Brynn. She says, F you, Brynn, and leaves. But the crazy part is that she's somehow playing the victim. And she says, that was so messed up. And she tells Ubah, that's your personal story. No one should know. Excuse me? You said it. Whether it was on camera or off camera, you weren't supposed to say anything. But you know what? I love seeing these three destroy themselves because I don't like them. The bad part is that it was at Ubah's expense, but she didn't seem that upset, but I do understand that it was still messed up. And that was the end. They then show the end cards, like what they're up to, like they always do in season finales, and that was it for season 14. Whew, this was crazy. So next week is going to be the 2-part reunion. There should have just been 1 part, to be honest with you. It looks like there's going to be more crying. This has become the crying show. But anyway, this was really crazy. I did love that Jessel finally stood up to these women. Brynn, I don't know what to make of her. And Sai and Erin, I just don't like them. Jenna, I do like her, but she's a little... I feel like she is still kind of hiding her true self. And then Ubah, I love Ubah. So you guys, what were your opinions and thoughts about this episode? Are you surprised by the betrayal that Sai did to Ubah and that then Brynn did to Sai later? What are your thoughts about that? And what did you think of the season? Who should come back? Who should not? Let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Have a great one. Bye.